The world was quiet in the way only a battlefield could be. Quiet not because peace had returned, but because everything that produced sound had already been obliterated. The acrid stench of plasma discharge drifted through the smoke-choked air, mingled with the metallic scent of scorched steel and burning circuitry. All around him, shattered mech limbs and pulverized barricades were strewn like the bones of dead giants. Sergeant Brian Carter of the 23rd Marine Combat Division stepped carefully through the wreckage, each footfall crunching over spent casings, broken visors, and charred armor plating. His Mark 7 plasma rifle hummed steadily on his shoulder, a faint reminder that despite the ruin he still had a fighting chance. His tactical HUD flickered with static. No comms, no allies, no command. Just one line blinking in red. Status, unit lost survivors. 1. Brian swallowed hard. He wasn't ready to accept he was the only one left. Not yet. A faint movement flashed on his motion tracker. He froze instantly, raising his rifle toward a mound of collapsed durasteel. Smoke drifted aside, and there, half buried under debris, was a figure, not human. Her hair, shimmering silver, spilled across the ground like liquid metal. Her lavender-gray skin glowed faintly under layers of ash. Her armor, elegant, ceremonial, and battle-scarred, identified her instantly. A Larian warrior. Their strongest allies. Their fiercest partners in war. Brian approached slowly, heart pounding. The figure stirred. Her eyes opened, storm gray with swirling silver. "Don't move," he said. "I'm Sergeant Brian Carter, Earth Marine Corps." The alien woman blinked, pained but alert. Kira Banis, 3rd Strike Force. "I cannot feel my legs." Brian immediately knelt and scanned her. The results slammed into his chest. Spinal cord severed mobility. 0% survival chance without med support. 2%. Protocol was brutal and clear. Immobilized casualties are to be abandoned during retreat. Kira saw the conflict in his face and whispered softly, "Leave me, human. Save yourself. My people, your people. Someone else must have survived." Brian shook his head. "No." And with one word he rewrote the rules. "Like hell I'm leaving you behind," he growled, already pushing debris off her. A weak smile tugged at the corner of her lips. "Stubborn. Human. You haven't seen stubborn yet, sweetheart." Despite the danger, there was warmth in the exchange. Strange for 2 warriors at death's door. Brian lifted her into his arms. She gasped from the pain, gripping his armor. "Apologies," he whispered. "Do not apologize," she answered breathlessly. "Just hurry." Her voice was melodic even in agony. Brian started moving, each step calculated, avoiding shifting rubble, ducking under twisted beams. He could feel her shallow breaths against his throat. "You are surprisingly calm," she murmured. "Marine training. And you still manage humor in the face of death. It's either that or cry. Humor's more manly." Her soft chuckle warmed his neck, even as plasma scorched the air around them. They took cover behind a fallen mech. Kira's breath touched his ear again. "This position is intimate." "Comfortable?" Brian asked, smirking despite the chaos. "Quite. Though I prefer intimate positions with less plasma fire. I'll remember that for our next date." "You assume there will be one?" "I carry a beautiful alien warrior through a battlefield and don't get a date after? That's just rude." Kira actually laughed. A soft sound that was startlingly gentle amid destruction, but danger crept closer. Her senses sharpened. "Brian," she whispered, "Drachnid patrols hunt in triangular formations. The ones you see are bait." He cursed quietly. "That means flankers." "Exactly. And I thought today couldn't get worse." She pointed at a weak point on the enemy armor. "Shoot them there, between the shoulder and neck." "One perfect shot?" "Boom," she confirmed. He fired. The explosion engulfed 3. "Impressive," she breathed. "Team effort," he countered. They moved again, her tactical instincts guiding him like a second set of senses. Kira tensed. "Brian, smell that." He sniffed. fuel cells, and not ordinary ones. There, she pointed weakly. A downed transport, military grade, if it is one of ours. Brian finished for her. It might have a medical pod, and that could save me. Then we go. Inside the shattered transport, emergency lights flickered blue across Kira's silver hair. Both froze. At the center of the wreckage stood a Lyrian healing chamber. Perfect. Untouched. Glowing softly like a sacred artifact. Kira's breath hitched. That is not standard Alliance equipment. That is one of our sacred healing chambers. Brian raised an eyebrow. So, sacred as in super effective? Or sacred as in might summon ancient gods? Both, she answered seriously. Then she hesitated. There is something I must tell you. Brian looked concerned. What? Our healing pods require an operator. They do not merely heal, they bond. Bond? A biological, genetic, and mental resonance between patient and operator. Okay, how strong of a bond are we talking? She swallowed. More binding than marriage in our culture. Brian blinked. Are you warning me? Or proposing? Her laugh echoed like silver bells. Perhaps both. Another explosion shook the transport. No time left, and will it heal you? Yes. Then get in. I'll operate it. Brian, the bond is permanent. Our minds will merge. Our bodies will adapt to one another. Your DNA may change. So I might wake up purple. Brian. He placed his hand on her cheek. You're worth the risk. She stared at him with wide, trembling eyes. No one had ever said that to her before. Brian laid her gently into the chamber and then stepped inside beside her. Their bodies aligned, inches apart. Kira whispered, Last chance to run, human. He grinned. Not running. Besides, does this make me your space husband? The chamber activated. Brilliant light bathed them. Energy surged like liquid fire through their veins. He gasped, feeling her emotions, her fear, her strength, her admiration. She felt his protectiveness, loyalty, and quiet longing. Their genetic codes danced together. Their thoughts intertwined. Their hearts aligned. Time stretched, warped, dissolved. When the light faded, Brian met her eyes, now swirling with tiny flecks of his brown among the stormy gray, and she saw her own lavender tint glowing faintly on his skin. She stood, fully healed. I can feel my legs, she whispered. Then her voice trembled, and I can feel you, everything you feel, every emotion, every thought. Yeah, Brian said, touching her shoulders. This is new. The transport shook violently. Enemy forces breached the outer hull. Kira reached for her blades. Brian reached for his rifle. Their bond surged, combining instincts, reflexes, awareness. Ready? He asked. More than ready, she answered with a feral smile. They took position side by side. The doors exploded inward. The battle began. And they moved like one being. Brian's rifle fire traced flawless arcs around Kira's sweeping energy blades. Kira's mental signals guided his shots with inhuman precision. Brian's combat instincts fueled her strikes with unstoppable momentum. They flowed like water, killed like fire, protected each other like soul-bound partners. The Drachnids hesitated at the sight of such unnatural synchronicity. A fatal hesitation. They wiped the entire squad. Silence returned, broken only by their shared breath. That, Brian gasped, was exhilarating. Kira finished. Their bond vibrated with adrenaline, and something deeper. Kira stepped closer. Brian didn't step back. The healing chamber didn't just connect our minds, she whispered. It made our bodies perfectly compatible. Every sensation you feel too, he finished. She touched his cheek. Exactly. He pulled her closer. And what about this sensation? Her smile was slow, dangerous, loving. Then feel this, she whispered. Their lips met, and through their bond, the world exploded into pure, shared ecstasy. Their partnership, their bond, their fate had only just begun.